I got into a very serious discussion with a friend of mine recently about how one becomes president. And the discussion dealt with, is there something that you have to have, some minimum requisite that everybody has to have? There's a certain thing where you just, for example, you have to have some type of experience. You have to be of a certain age. You have to look a particular way. You have to have a certain amount of money. You have to, not so much the backing, not so much the people who are behind it, but the question is there something to be said? Is there something that people have to have in order to be president? So when I was talking to my friend, I said, you know who would be terrific, but I hope she would never run, and that is Candace Owens. And she would be revolutionary. And it would have nothing to do with the fact that she's black and that she's a woman. And my person I was talking to said, well, that's impossible. I said, why? Tell me why. Tell me why. If Donald Trump can be president, why can't anyone be president? If Donald Trump can be president, or Jimmy Carter, anybody, tell me why. What was so special about Jimmy Carter? What did Jimmy Carter have? What do you need to be president? And more importantly, is there anybody anywhere who is telling the truth? I want you to think of this, my friend, very, very carefully. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. Less angry, I hope, than usual. Not that we're angry. More philosophical, but more important. But speaking of important, whenever this subject comes up, people say, oh, bug out bags. It's a stupid name. It's the most important thing you have. Most people do not have this bag of stuff. In the event they had to leave, they don't have it. I don't know. It's one thing to have food for down the road, and that's important. But just to be able to, if you just had to leave because there was a fire, or you just had to run, you just had to go for, who knows why? Nobody plans an emergency. It's an amazing thing. And it's a critical thing, and I want you to listen with all your heart. When disaster hits, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall back on what you already prepared. Wildfires, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, blackouts, EMP and grid attacks, riots, disaster. Get it? And when the warning comes, there's no time to search for flashlights or bottled water or first aid supplies while your family waits at the door. That's why My Patriot Supply created the fully stocked bug out bag. You've got to get this. It's a rugged grab-and-go tactical backpack packed with 60 emergency essentials, including food, water, shelter, fire, starting tools, lighting, first aid, and more. Everything is already packed and ready right out of the box. Keep one in your car, your home, your RV, your office, your cabin, because the emergencies never make appointments. And right now, you can get $100 off plus free shipping for a limited time. So act now. There will be no special invitation in life. Disaster always comes unannounced. Get prepared now. Go to preparewithlionel.com. That's preparewithlionel.com and click the link today. I ask the question many, many times about how people become president. What do you need to be president? And more importantly, is there anybody anywhere telling the truth? Do you think Candace Owens would ever lie? This is a question I ask. Do you think you could ever really catch her? And you could. Well, I mean, could. Not possibility, but that you would ever have to worry about catching her in a lie. I mean, a lie. Is there any, not an exaggeration, not a fib, not what is called puffery? Do you ever think that you would ever do it? Please, let's talk about the tweet Candace put out about the video. What pray tell is that? Madam, and this would be from our good friend, this would be, Linguitas. This is our friend, I'm trying to remember the names. I'm very, very, very bad at this. Tell us, per se, what is the video? I've been doing stuff today. You don't even know what I'm doing. You don't know what I'm been doing. I don't want to do it. Don't want to tell you, but I've been kind of. But what is the evil? The video. She has the Aspen. The Aspen video. She will be doing this tomorrow. In fact, today we were talking about we were very, very. I was very, very sad that she wasn't going to be on. Oh, bless your heart. Thank you, M. Mac. I was very, very sad about this. But then I thought, no. Take your time. Take your time. The reason why I ask this, I have friends, people I know. Let me give you a little background. I know one in particular who I think suffers from mental illness. Not a bad, but he cannot tell the truth. He cannot tell the truth. A friend of mine cannot tell the truth. And he cannot do it. And I was saying, I've known this friend of mine for a long time, and he is unable to tell the truth. He can't. And but he'll lie about stuff that doesn't matter. He'll tell you things. Well, I talked to so-and-so, and I told her, there's no way you're going to do that. You know what she told me? She told me to pound sand. And I said, well, let me tell you something. I am through with you. And then I find that I talked to somebody, I said, did you talk to him? He says, no, not at all. I said, why is he lying? I don't know. So the lies are there. I think it's a pathological thing. I think there's something that he just doesn't know any better. And who knows how this works. And then there's the Erika Kirk and the TPUSAs. They lie about everything. I mean, if she came out and said the following, if she came out and said, listen, you can't do it now, but let's assume before. Listen, my name is Erika Kirk. I married Charlie, and I'm nothing special. I'm just trying to figure out. I can't believe it. I don't think my whole thing hasn't been. I wasn't even plugged in. Oh my God. This is terrible. Doesn't it sound better now? I wasn't even plugged in. Oh dear God. See, I was using my scanner, and I was just, I'm so sorry. I apologize immensely. Let me make sure I'm hooked up, and I'm talking to this damn thing as I've been plugged in. I'm kind of I'm a little shin guy from today. I mean, seriously, I'm a little shin guy. A little, not that it matters. I'm just kind of a little crazy, a little strange. But to make a long story short, very, 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 very short. If she came out and said the following, and I know what I'm saying is crazy, and I know there's no way I know there's no way you're thinking it's true, but let's assume this happened. If she came out and she said, listen, I'm nothing special. I married Charlie, and he's smarter than I am. I don't know what to do. I'm kind of at a loss. You don't know what it's like to have somebody that you love, somebody you married, the father of your children, who it's not in a car accident. It's not because of disease, all of them which are bad enough, but I don't know how to tell you what it's like. And they ask me, what happened to Daddy? It's just horrible. Now, let's assume she said this. Look, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what's best for TPUSA. I don't know what's best for you. I don't know what's best for anybody right now. I'm going to need your prayers, but not for me. I'll be fine. It's my children. Please pray for my children. Pray for Charlie's soul, which I'm sure is fine. Pray for TPUSA. And all I'm asking is that let me know how I can help, what I can do, because I think both of us have the same issues. If she's talk like that, because I know you would just love her at a level no one could ever even imagine. You would be able to show, I know you. I know you. You would say, oh my God, this woman needs me. She, honest to God, needs me. This woman is, wow. She needs me. She's so honest. She's so unassuming. I'm telling you, you would love her. But she can't do this. If you were humble, let me tell you something. Believe me. Believe me when I tell you this. I don't care if you believe it. I don't care if let me back up a little bit because I'm all over the place. If you are humble, like you say, look at this. I love your energy. I love energy. Roldatesso. I don't know why I'm making you sound so Italian. Thank you. I love my energy as well. I thank you for that. You're very, very kind. But if how do I say this? If you ever say, listen, I'm okay at this. I'm not very good. And then you are good. It's sandbagging to an extent. But people say, wow, play it down. I'll give it a shot. I'll see what I can do. I'm not very good at this. And then if you're not very good, you can say, well, I warned you. People love humility. People love humility. Let me tell you what happened recently. Maybe you're the same way. I hate talking about me. I don't talk about personal stuff. I don't talk about family. I don't talk about my wife. We talk, which is business. I have a very serious, not a wall, but you have to protect people. You just have to, if they get used to it, just don't say anything. But I will tell you this. And I don't go into because I hate when people talk about their own personal life. But when I met my wife for the first time, I didn't say anything. She said, why don't you talk about yourself? I said, because nobody believes it. When it comes to me, it's not that I'm shy. I don't impress. I'm not interesting. I don't talk about me. I swear to God. And I think that's what endeared her. And I said, I'm not being endearing. This is not calculating. I'm telling you the truth. I don't. And it's the same thing. The other day, I hate it. What do you do? Oh, God, I don't know. I tell people I'm a shepherd. I don't know what to tell them. What do I do? Well, I kick around. I hate when people say, well, what I do is. So the reason why I tell you this, I think somehow it showed her that despite what people think, when it comes to me, I'm unimpressed with me. I'm so unimpressed. My life is boring. I mean, not boring. There's nothing to it. There's nothing remarkable. Nothing. To me, it's The reason why I'm telling you this is, especially I tell young people in particular, young men, because I don't think men know how to do this. I'm saying, listen, believe me when I tell you this. If you really want to impress a girl, be a gentleman. You have no idea. Open the door. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. Because you're so rare. Open the door. Be the kindest person. And your most important date is the first date. Your most important. Tell young people this. You're going to act, I swear to God, like you're auditioning for a job. How would you do? Would you make a pass on your first date with your boss? No. I'm not suggesting you don't do any type of indication. But believe me, you can always make up for it. You will never get in trouble for not moving or for moving slowly. You'll only get in trouble for moving too quickly. Ladies, am I right? Am I right? You will never get in trouble. Believe me. So if using that as an aside, if she came out and just said, look, maybe one of the reasons why Charlie and I got along was I'm just so unremarkable. But this isn't about me. It's about Charlie. It's about our family. Oh, God. It's not about me. It's about Charlie. You wouldn't know what to do. I swear to God. Some of the times I think that President Trump has got to realize he's got to change the delivery. He's not a bad guy. I know people don't think that. I know people have this. He's not a bad, believe me, I'm telling you. I know what I'm talking about. But sometimes you don't convey this. And all she had to do, did you see, we did that stupid speech. The more I hear it, I say, my God. And by the way, the more I think about it, I think that heckler was staged. Sure looks like it. If she wasn't staged, she looks like it. If I came out to you and I tried to explain to you God or Jesus, think about it. How would you sell that? Not sell it, not because it's not real, but I mean, what would you do? You would not speak in terms of like your Deepak Chopra with a Southern accent. You don't do it like that. You talk about the essence of this. What did those women want from TPUSA? What did they want? What did they want? Did they want to be lectured to like first of all, who the are you to talk about any of this stuff? Who are you? And by God, and you put your feet on the ground and you recognize that through redemption and the prism of has she said anything? Do we know anything about her? Tell me, have you ever seen anybody who is as great and as authentic as Candace? Think about this. I know people are saying, you're talking a little bit too much about her. I mean, are you talking at all about? Are you still talking about her? Yeah. Are you still talking about Israel? Yeah. Why? I asked a friend of mine why. I said, that's all you talk about, Israel. I said, that's all you talk about. The Levant, Middle East. You talk about, there's not a damn thing you can do about that. And not only that, you don't know anything about the Middle East or Israel. So why are you talking about that? Well, but are you talking about Israel? So when you ask me, are you talking about her again? This is the most important thing. Do you know this is when, you remember when Gene McCarthy came along and McGovern? And all these people say, where did this guy come from? And then there was a time when Gary Hart, not Playboy Gary Hart, not the NWA manager, but when Gary Hart came along, do you remember this? I saw this. I love to see how people come about. Lies stem from a deep dissatisfaction with reality, Rumple Gold. I think that is true. I think that is true, but thank you. First, why do people lie? You want to talk about this? Somebody talked about, they said they were an English major and they appreciated vocabulary. Okay? Let me explain to you. A lie that we talk about is, and I'll never forget this. I think I told you about this. There was a case one time where there was prosecutorial misconduct. And during the case of this, the appellate court ruled or had to deal with the fact of, did the prosecution or defense did they err when the trial court did not overrule or did not sustain rather the objection to prosecutorial misconduct when he says you are a liar, you're lying? And the appellate court said a lie is defined as a misrepresentation of fact with the intent to deceive. Let's think about that. I'd like to break things apart. A misrepresentation of fact with the intent to deceive. Not a misrepresentation of opinion. If you think about it, say, okay, I lied about my opinion. Well, that's that. No. The lies we're talking about is, yes, the money is in your account. Yes, I mailed you. Remember that? Yes, I mailed you that kind of, that's a lie. No, I didn't have sex with your wife when I, no, that's a lie because I want to deceive you. But then again, I ask the question, but what if I wanted to deceive you about something to save your feelings, hurt your feelings? What if you ask me, how do I look in this? And you're very worried, and I know you, and I know that I've known you for a long time, and you're very sensitive about your looks. You have some kind of a thing about your looks, and I know that it means a lot to you. And you want me to you want to look good. So you may or may not look that good. I mean, you've looked better, but what if I say, hey, you look great? Is that a lie? Is it really a lie? I don't think so. I really don't think so. So I'm trying to redefine it. It's not a misrepresentation of fact with the intent to deceive. The deception has got to be negative. It's got to be hurt. It's not to spare your feelings. But then again, to spare your feelings is, what if I lied to you by telling you that you didn't have cancer when you did? I'm trying to spare your feelings. So we can talk about this. And by the way, Erika Kirk does not deal with these. But understand something, even something as clear, something as limpid and pellucid as the notion of lying and mendacity, even though that is true, it's the negative part that we all can agree is wrong. And I love the idea of deception. I love the idea of deception and perception. That's why I always love professional wrestling. And I love the way of putting on an act, the rib, the angle. And there's a certain degree of, not really lying, but it's a subdirectory in politics called exaggeration. Exaggeration. Now, what Trump, if he were to tell you the truth, for example, he would have said, I'm very impetuous. I'm not really well read. I'm not a student of history. My bluster, my braggadocio, my impetuousness, all of these things are what make me kind of who I am. I'm an absolute blowhard, but I am fearless. Nothing frightens me. And he proved it, by the way, when he was being prosecuted. And I understand there are some people who believe that his attempted assassination was not real. And I can understand why they are, because I kind of like that way myself. But I believe it was. I believe it was real. I don't think you can't stage something like that. Things go really, really bad. And when they go bad, ooh, do they go bad. Mistime the stage, the person. And by the way, there is a firefighter who's dead. And I think his family would beg to differ if you were to suggest that this was some kind of the product of stretched truth, as it were. But. So all of these things are, but if he were to tell you the truth, if he say, look, I don't know. I think you know what he'll tell you though? You know, I think he'll really tell you. He probably will never say this in real life, but if he could, even though you give, by the way, sodium pentothal does not work the way you think it does. It kind of knocks you out. It doesn't make you speak the truth. I think booze does to an extent, and then you're in la la land. But I think he would tell you, I'll tell you what I did. I was doing all right. But the Middle East, Israel, Gaza, I fucked up royally because I trusted people and I didn't see it coming. And I just didn't know. I had a lot of constituents. There was very powerful people, a lot of money. And I would tell him, if I said, Mr. President, permission to speak, sir. Yes, here's the truth. You're big. Get away from that. That son-in-law is going to sell you down the river. There is not by the way, there's a group called Hysteria. Not a group. There's a channel called Hysteria. Two women, leftist, most brilliant writers you've ever seen. And what they did one on Jared Kushner. Absolutely. Spot on. I would say, Mr. President, that guy is going to cause you more problems than you'll ever know. And how your daughter saw this, don't tell me your daughter fell in love with this guy. Don't tell me this. Just don't. This man is reptilian. But it's too late at this point. And Bibi, not Israel, not the Jewish people, not the Jewish faith, Bibi sold you. He saw you coming. And they thought they could own you and they could do whatever they wanted to. And they would give you, they had the money and you felt, and you sat there and you just basically acknowledged it. You got into these things and they told you to watch out and you didn't listen. And now look what your legacy is. You fucked this up. Pardon my French, but sometimes the word is so important. You took a situation in the Middle East and you basically changed everything. Now that's the truth. You basically fortified. You raised. If I didn't know anything, I swear you were a double agent for Iran. I could see the president leaving the troop and leaving the office and turning to the Ayatollah and saying, "We did it. Greatest rib ever. Forget Bernie. We did it, and we did it." Which is stupid because he killed all these other people. That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. And if anybody ran, and I think, and Candace can't, because she absolutely positive. Did you say the Knicks are winning? Did I hear this again? This can't be. NBA Finals. I really don't. I mean, I got to tell you something. Look at this. Yep, 64. 64 for you. Are they here in New York? Whoa. And by the way, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, I think Trump's going to be here. So that would be 4. That would be, right? Am I correct? Anyway, that's the fleeting interest of me with sports. It's tribalism. It's juvenile. It's bred in circuses. It's silly. It's ridiculous. I don't really care. But I say it as an extent. Okay, I'm a New Yorker. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Now, going back. The truth is really serious. The truth is something where you... And if somebody ran for office, if Candace said, listen, you realize that I'm never going to be able to do anything that I wanted to do when I'm president. I can't. I'm not. I got to stop. First of all, you run the party. You're the leader of the party. And I'm going to worry about stuff that's just ridiculous. It's just, absolutely. And I cannot turn my back on people. I'm going to say, first of all, I'm not a Republican, so I don't know what to do. Candace, it would kill her. It would kill her. I'm going to say, you're going to have to lie. Get ready. You're going to have to lie. You're going to have to turn your back. And you're going to say, listen, I'm not going to lie, but I'll change my mind. Now, that's going to be what? It's like, I changed my mind. John Maynard Keynes said, when the facts change, I change my opinion. Have you ever changed your mind about something? Tell me something you changed your mind of that you think now differently than when you were younger. Tell me something you think about now completely differently than when you were younger. Tell me. And if you didn't change your mind, if you didn't change your position, you're not paying attention. What did you think when you were a young person that now you say, that was stupid? What was I thinking? What was I thinking? What was I even imagining this? It could be a political opinion. I haven't changed. The closest I've ever come, I think, might be not really death penalty. Death penalty just is functionally, it's a terrible thing. Functionally, not the morality of it, but the way it's implemented, it's a horrible thing. It's terrible. It's like war. But I tell you one thing that I definitely changed about, because the facts changed, I understood it differently. I used to advocate this kind of a quasi-libertarian idea about prostitution being an agreement between two people. Now I'm completely against it. I'm absolutely against. I'm for a partial decrim called the Equality Act, where you legalize it only for the prostitute itself or the woman. It's usually a woman. Not for the Johns, not whatever it is. No. I am absolutely convinced, 100%, that when you engage in the purchase of sex from a human being, this is slavery. You have bought a slave, and you've compensated the slave, and you have defiled humanity. And what you would do is you are aiding and abetting slavery. And for you to decriminalize it, you basically you legalize being a pimp. Our good friend Jenna says, Erika, definition of lying, Love your pod. Thank you. I appreciate that. She is a liar. She is a liar. But make sure, change your mind. When the facts change your mind. And she can still, she might be able to, but see, she's not smart enough. See, this is the problem, by the way. Remember, this is why she's so important. What motivates her more than anything else is to attain an image of Erika that she will never be able to. It's what she wishes she was, but she can't because she's not. She's not going to anywhere near that. She can't be Erika, not the way she thinks, not the way she acts, not the way she just isn't. She can't be Erika. It doesn't exist. She doesn't exist. She wants to be pretty, talented, loved. She wants so much to be loved, respected. She is looking for something that is so sad. There is something so missing in her. And you can see it. And she's out of her league. And you got to hand it to her. It's that Dunning-Kruger effect. And it says she's not aware of how bad she is. But then again, there's Candace. And by the way, here's the best part. If Candace ever ran, you could say to her, well, Candace has to be honest. You can say, well, let me tell you what's going to happen here. I'm at least going to tell you what I think, because there's no way they could ever let a person like me become president. The powers that be, they cannot. I'm telling you, look at me now. They will never let me do this. Now you can do this. You can vote for me, but they'll steal the vote. And they do it all the time. And they scare you so much that if you were to say something about it, they will cut you down for even saying it. It's the same way they completely quell, dispatch, and sideline any particular discussion regarding the implication or the ramifications of what's really going on in the Middle East. They call you an anti-Semite, and they shut you right down. It's incredible. It's incredible. Candace has to do something. If she could say something to the effect of, my religion means the most to me because I don't see how anybody today as a human being cannot possibly exist without at least following the fundamentals. Let me say one thing about religion, which is very interesting. You don't have to believe it, but follow the rules and you'll be just fine. Even if you don't believe it, listen to the economic rules. Do unto others, don't kill, don't. It's going to be difficult for you to honor the Sabbath if you don't believe. But if you believe in the fundamentals, honor thy father, thy mother, do not kill, do not rob, do not steal, do not whatever it is. Make sure there's something about morality. It's so easy to be moral. All you have to do is not hurt people. That's it. You don't have to, this is not the Medal of Honor time. You don't have to do anything special. But you'd be so much better off. But Candace has got to say flat out, I'm against war. I'm against abortion. I'm against this. I'm telling you right now. I'm not going to change my mind. And I'm going to pick judges as president that align with not so much of me, unless you have an objection. I align with the Constitution. And sometimes you're not going to make it. Let me give you an example. I love asking, this really gets people. I say, do you have a constitutional right to sodomy? What? Do you have a constitutional right to sodomy? Let me save you some time. No. Doesn't mean you can't. Do you have a constitutional right to foosball? What's foosball? Do you? No. Now, that's not because I hate foosball. It's because it's a reality. It's the truth. And as your president, I'm going to do it. But I don't think you want that. I think you want somebody to come in and kind of like bend the Constitution, bend the rules. I don't do that. So don't vote for me. I'm not going to be good for you. Trust me. I'm going to be a real pain in the ass. You're going to say, do something. And I'm going to say, but I can't. Nobody's ever spoken to you before. They speak in platitudes. Candace will tell you the truth. All they had to do was leave her alone. Remember, you wanted this. Remember, FAFO, you did this. I don't know what you thought you saw. Maybe you saw, oh, here's a little Candace. Well, what does she know? I don't know if she showed people you do not want You do not want to fuck around with Candace. Give me an example. Years ago, there was this thing I had on my refrigerator. It was this great, it was crumpled up on Crimple Creek. It was crumpled and brown. I should have laminated it. Anyway, it was a picture, and it was a picture of a pup tent in Lake Okeechobee in the Everglades, right around there. And this little pup tent had this little sign that somebody wrote in this kind of you remember that hee-haw scrawl, that weird kind of a bucolic kind of writing, and it said, "You better really want to come in here." It's a little pup tent. You'd better really want to come in here. Up to you. What does that mean? You'll find out. That's Candace. You wanted to do this. Well, Brigitte, you did it, didn't you? You didn't you? You did it. You had to do it. You had to sue her in Delaware in a lawsuit with pleadings and with discovery and reciprocal discovery and interrogatory and all that. You wanted this. Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking. Let me ask you something. If somebody accused you of being a man and you weren't, you were a woman, somebody said you're a man, what would you do? Would you sue? Would you say, yeah, okay. Oh, sure. And I'm also a Martian. Yeah. But if your whole life this has been kind of like, say, why are so many people saying that? Why? Why do you think so many people are not accused of that? There's something to this. I don't know what it is, but there's something to it. And now what she's doing is, according to Candace, she's not suing basically that it's not pure defamation, is that she defamed her by saying she was a man when in fact she wasn't. What she's saying is, I'm suing you because in order for me to do this, you are suggesting I stole the identity from my brother or whatever it was. And basically, I'm suing you for theft because it's almost like libel per se, because it's the commission of a crime. Why are you doing this? Do you know who this is? This is Candace. She's going to, forget you. You don't understand something. Whatever happens at the courtroom, nobody cares. That thing goes slow. She's going to eat you alive every single day. Every single day. And you're going to find out things over and over again that you're wondering, why are they, for the love of God? And why? Why is there this constant reference to what you look like? But you brought it on. You brought it on. Why'd you do this? It's my favorite. Senor Onces. But she has a reason. Erika knows.
It seems to me that nothing will ever be enough for the evil in this world.
I don't even know what the hell that means. Candace is thinking, this is the best you've got. Oh, yeah. This is like shooting snakes in a barrel. It's like, what is this? Who are these people? I mean, think about it. I'm not suggesting that Candace couldn't take on anybody she wants, anybody of substance. But deep down inside, she must be thinking, this is like, first of all, if Eva Longoria, I don't know who the hell it is, you accuse her of being a man, you might have a hard time with it. You may say, like, Candace, I think you went a little bit. I don't know who. I mean, I'm not suggesting they're ultra feminine, but you notice how people, whenever you bring up Brigitte Macron, they go, well, yeah. Well, they say that Erika Candace suggested she's a man. Okay, sure. Yeah. You see the reaction, it's like, well, see, that's not good. If the old days of Jane Mansfield was a man. Okay, come on, stop it. Come on. What are you, nuts? You're crazy. Sophia Loren. Oh, come on. Joan Blondell, listen to me. You're crazy, trying to think of the old days. But now, think about it. It's the first reaction people do. So Candace is thinking, I'm the luckiest person in the world. I'm being sued for defamation by a woman, whatever, who, when she makes her claim, people say, You don't want that. You don't want that. You know what? I think you're gay. Well, not good. Rosie Keeney says, you mentioned a few things you've changed your mind about, which I found really interesting. Are there any other beliefs, assumptions, or opinions you significantly reconsidered, and what led you to those changes? Fascinating. One was certainly one was prostitution. These are kind of like policy changes or policies, and death penalty. I'm still kind of thinking. I think I can't have you can't have a procedure that is so bad, and even though you're going to get like maybe 90% of it, nobody's ever really going to be found. Very few people will be found guilty who are not guilty, but that's not the way you have a system. So I have a hard time with that. That I think this is very interesting. If I could do things differently, see, there's no way as a young man that I could have thought the way I do now. Like I would have gone back. I mean, I didn't really do anything bad, but if I could go back, they say if you could meet the old person, if I could say, listen to me, do me a favor. See the one over there? Don't do this. You don't know what you're doing wrong. You're hanging around the wrong people. You're in the wrong place. You're not taking this seriously enough. You're not thinking the right way. You're getting too wrapped up in this. You know what I mean? It's like when you were younger, you fixate things on things that aren't really important. You got to step back and look at bigger stuff. But then again, that's easier because it's different. I think when you get older, you just look back. But honest to God, think about this. I have really not changed my opinion about a lot of things. A lot of things. And what's also the most interesting is that I am far more not tolerant, but understanding. I understand you. It's almost empathic. You see, you have to understand the way people think. Let me ask you something. Who is it that Erika Kirk appeals to? That's the question. Who is it that Erika Kirk appeals to? When you see people going, yay! When you hear that, when you see this woman, it's like what was today? Candace had the best line about, it was one of the best about these women. She saw the same thing I did. Where is it? Where is it? Bless her heart. She said something very, very interesting. She said, let me see this. He said, oh, she's pumping. She's doing a lot of stuff. I really gotta go back and check. It's so sad when I see pictures of Charlie alive. It's like this poor guy is so sad. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is good. She says, notice it's no longer called the Young Women's Leadership Summit because they've completely lost the youth since Charlie's passing. This is RNC Light. It's now the Hags Nagging Summit with donors occupying speaking slots to lecture women about how it's biblical to not question anything. Turning Point no longer has anything to do with Charlie Kirk, and the whole world knows it, including them. No spark, no energy, no debate, frankly stale. Absolutely. How about this Dana Lesh? Who is Dana Lesh? No, I know who she is, but I was like, who? Who is Dana Lesh? Isn't that an incredible thing? Isn't that something? Why is Baron Coleman trending? This is interesting. This is good. Baron is he's a mensch and a half. Absolutely. You know who else is too? Tremendous is Charlie Kirk. I said, not Charlie Kirk, excuse me. So Charlie Kirk. Jimmy Dore. I said him, but I think he was terrific. When you speak to a group of people, remember this. Remember I'm telling you. Yeah, Dana is very angry. Angry. Empingado. I mean, very, very kind of angry. When you speak with a group of people, first rule is very, very simple. Tell them what they want to hear, but in a way you want to do it. I'll give you an example. One time I had to speak to a group of people. It was a Chamber of Commerce. I said, okay. Now remember, they've just eaten. They've asked me to speak. They all have similar. What am I going to tell them? These biddies, these harpies, these viragos, these termagants, these malkins, grimalkins, shrews, curs. Anyway, they would have lectured. And I went up, and it's very, very simple. I said, I don't think people understand what it means for you to run a business. Do they have any idea what you go through on a regular day? Do they have any? I mean, how much of what you have to do is running the business versus complying with the government and taxes? I said, why can't you keep your money? Isn't that a stupid question? I'm going to ask a stupid question. Why can't you keep your money? What did you ever do? It's called robbery. Anyway, I swear to you, my dear friend, when I walked out, they would have elected me to do anything. Why? Because I said what I believe, but I said there's something that they want to hear. It's that simple. These women always want to talk about themselves. Remember when you were a kid and maybe somebody came and they talked to you? Did you ever have like an alumnus or an alumna come to your school and give advice? It's always about what they've done. And I was asked that one time, and I don't think they liked it. But I told them, these are the most exciting times in the world. Do me a favor, don't listen to me. You're not even out there yet. Go out, make some mistakes, hope they're not felonies, and go out and be bold and brave and crazy and take the world by the horns, and you have fun and experiment. Don't hurt anybody and get back with me. And that's it. And they love me, these kids, because everybody else was telling them the same thing. I'm a man of honor. Stop with the honor. You're 18 years old, you're 17, whatever you are. Go on, have fun. Go have fun. Life is fun. People think sometimes they feel so guilty. Take more naps. I'm a big believer in that. You sit down, close your eyes. Just relax. It's called recovery. Relax. Do fun stuff. Having fun is important. Stop being so hard on yourself. Anyway, that's the way I feel. Now, wouldn't that have been great? Wouldn't that have been great? Wouldn't that have been wonderful? Very, very simple. It'd just be wonderful just to be able to say, hey, listen, ladies, stop being a woman, stop being a mom. But you can do it. And you're whatever it is. But no, they come across with all their makeup. And look, I don't know what I swear to God, I don't know what happened to people when they change their faces and the way they look, but it's such a sign that there was no soul there. When people go out and they chop themselves up. You have no idea how I hate that. But let me tell you what, those girls, the ones who said, hey, they're like they remind me of like Bachelorette Night or the cheerleaders or the girls who think they're sexy. The worst is the women who are saying, you're not going to believe it. You know, I'm 38 years old. What? Can you believe that? 38. I know. I can't believe. What is the matter with you? That's who they were. I wish I could somehow maybe wear, I like to say this, Google glasses or face, whatever these glasses are, and say, I want to show you something. Now we're going to go into this group. These are people that we don't know them. Mrs. Dahl doesn't know them, but they're at this event, and there's one I'm going to show you in particular. She's the ringleader, and she thinks she's the hottest number in the world. And I want you to see if you can find out which one. If you know the one I'm talking about, you know who I mean. She's very simple to find out. She's always taking the selfies of her, nobody else, her. Watch, and I walk up in the class and go, there she is, and you will howl. That's who the Dana Lesh and all these people are. Lesh, Losh, Lesh. I've never seen her. That's who it is. I swear to God. Then you get to Candace. She just looks. Doesn't she just look normal? How do I say this? I'm not doing any. I'm not passing any statement. Doesn't she look normal? Doesn't she look like when you see her, you don't say, yeah. Doesn't she look elegant? She looks like an elegant woman, but who doesn't look battle scarred, rode hard, put up wet. I'm telling you, like 3 miles of bad road, homemade soap, like a mud fence. These people are frightening. First of all, that's her thing. She says, okay. She's not gaudy. She's not flashy. She doesn't do any of this stuff. She loves talking about being a mom and a real pregnant and all that. And her husband, she just seems like somebody you just want to. And you know what else? You know what else? She has a lot of male friends. That's the rarest commodity. First and foremost, it takes two to tango. Number one, most men do not want to have be friends with most women. I'm sorry to say this because they're so slim pickings. They really, it's a rare commodity. And you know what? If you guys, if you can find a friend, a woman that's just a friend, and not somebody who's like your grandmother, but somebody who's like of your age, and you can be just the greatest thing in the world. But normally you can't. Because sometimes men and women, they can't get past this idea that somehow, you've probably thought about it, haven't you? What? No, I haven't. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. Men, they can't do this. They always say women can't be friends. Why not? Why not? If you're sending the wrong vibe, maybe that's a problem. But Candace, look who her friends are. Baron, Theo Vaughn, loves her. I think they live in the same. They love her. All these men. I'll bet you Candace has more men friends than women. What do you think? Am I right or wrong? Huh? Men admire her. Women despise her. Women despise her because she's everything they're not. You can tell they look at her like, pfft. You get this? Dang it, Lionel. Dang it. Love you like a brother. Thank you. Don't you think I'm telling the truth? Don't you think more men? Because she's just she's solid. Solid. Don't you think that? 100%. Absolutely. And most women cannot stand her because they look at her and they're going to say, wait a minute. No, you're missing the point. No, listen to the point. No. You're missing the point. Wrong. She has both. Us girls love Candace. I didn't say that. You love her here, and that's terrific. But in the real world, among people, when you're in physical proximity, neighbors, colleagues, I will bet you anything. And people, by the way, who are in the business, similar businesses, people who are, who's not crazy about her? Megyn Kelly. Megan's like, Megan's kind of still in the old team. Megan's in that group, the Fox News, kind of the cheerleader type. Is like, she was only kicked out. She'd still be there in a moment. Of course, women love her. Women love her because they can see immediately. I'm talking about women she comes across. Absolutely. Now, if she met you, you'd have no problem with that. It's the strangest thing. I keep saying women are so vicious to each other. I see it all the time. But you're able to listen to her. You don't know her, but you're listening to her. But if you had, put it this way, if you had to, how do I say this? Let me ask you this. If all of a sudden, as this happened, as Erika was giving that speech, if all of a sudden Candace walks out, what do you think will be the reaction? What would be the reaction? What do you think would happen? What do you think? Oh, Maureen Callahan, absolutely great. Brutal. These two, you're not going to like their politics. Hysteria, terrific. And the woman who has no eyes, what's the one? She looks like a mole. She has no eyes. Different story. Different story. But I'm telling you, in the business, if Candace walked out, those women don't love her. Why don't those women love her? You love Candace. Why don't they? I bet you Candace could tell you stories. You know that from the beginning, if she walks into Fox News, it has nothing to do with her politics. Nothing. You put all those people together. Remember the old crew. Put them together. Have her sitting on the 5. Who is it? I can't even remember who the hell's on the 5. But anyway, Harris Faulkner. How about Harris Faulkner and Candace together? Oh! Not because they're black. But that would be like, okay, let's see who this is. How about Kelly McInerney? Candace sits down. I would pay to watch the look. Because she basically says, I'm the big dog. I'm coming here. Watch that. They're not going to love her. No, you love her. She doesn't threaten you. Candace doesn't threaten you. Candace is like your friend. You admire her. I think it says a lot about you. You're okay. You're not going to meet her. She's somebody you listen to. But those people, oh, dear God. Dear God. How about the Campagna, whatever her name is? She talks like this. Oh, no. She comes out there. Oh, there was a scene, there was a picture of Candace sitting on a chair. And everybody, they're just in Russia, they're just surrounding her. It's like Candace had to go to Russia. But if Candace walked out on that stage, those women would, they would. You would hear the. Anybody have a cat? Do you ever hear when a cats get really pissed off and do that? That's great. It's a growl, but it's the really, and then the. You know it's going to come. Here it comes. You could hear it there. Oh, Tommy Lahren. Oh, artificial. And Candace, and they would look at each other. Oh, Tommy Lahren. Who's another one too? There was this. Oh yeah, are you kidding me? They have some. I don't want to put it this way. I don't want to. It's been a long time since I've done it, since I've watched this. The ones who were really, really, the ones that I like. There's this one I like her. I think she's completely full of shit. Politically, she's the prototypical lefty. But Fran Lebowitz, this woman has absolutely. Put it this way. You don't even ask her, are you a lesbian? She's in the dictionary under tribid or whatever. She's there. She wears cowboy boots, men's dungarees, a man's blazer, and she looks like her face melted. She looks like in Sicilian they call it the fungia face, like a mushroom. She just wants to smoke cigarettes. She drives an old, one of those checker marathons, and she smokes cigarettes. And again, she's a lefty. She hates Trump. Yeah. But I love the fact she's so unique. Absolutely so unique. And I could see, in a very strange way, politics aside, Candace would say to her, I like you. Because you're like me, you're independent. Your politics are simian, but other than that, you're absolutely. See, there's nobody. Thing is, Candace is very rare. Ladies, I'm sorry because you're not. I don't know you. I'm sure you'd be a perfect example of this, but there's not a lot out there There really is. The people who are really smart, the ones you got to go. I'm sorry, you got to go to like I keep want to say PBS. We need to have an intellectual school of some really dynamic, smart women, and a lot of them always historically were always on the left. There's a lot of women out there who are very, very smart. I think the Maggie Thatcher, Jean Kirkpatrick, and even not Eleanor Schmiel, what am I saying? Schlafly and those ones, they were very different. And in their time, Gloria Steinem, at her time, she was very important. Betty Friedan was very important, very, very powerful, very important, very critical. But today, we don't put any emphasis on this whatsoever. I swear to you, if I went to Candace, and I really believe this, and if I said, we took a sampling, yeah, you know what 90% of the people say? Why they like you? What? How you look. Not what you say. I think Candace would be floored. I think she'd be insulted. What do you mean? They don't care. They don't even know what you say. You're just your looks are so important to people that's what they like. I think she'd go crazy. Sabby Sabs is terrific. And by the way, I don't mind. Crystal Ball, who sounds like something like she's 12. She's with Sager from a Boiling Point or a Breaking Point or whatever else it's called. She's very good too. There's a excuse me. There's a lot of women. A lot in particular. This Katie Halpern, and her voice can be a bit droning, but she's very, very smart. Very, 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 very smart. I worked with, there's a lot of people I know. So many, how do I say this? There's so many smart. I'm going to say something, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I've told friends of mine this, and they say, uh-huh. And I said, tell me something sexier than a smart woman. And they're like this. Just one? Because men are stupid. Women are crazy, but men are stupid. Tell me, when Margaret Thatcher walks up, she was. And it's funny, Indira Gandhi and others, and even Benazir Bhutto and other people, these were in Pakistan, a woman. Madame Curie, just go down the list. Whoa. And there's something, you've got to be even smarter to compete with some of these judge rules. You have no idea. So what I'm trying to say, perhaps circuitously and elliptically and in a desultory way, Candace could never be president because she's too honest. But what she can do is she can direct where we're talking. And I think sometimes, I hope I get the chance to interview her. But what fascinates me is that when do you realize? Can you think of anybody more powerful than she is right now? A woman. Let's just break. I throw the men in there too, because there's so many more women men in politics, unfortunately. But in terms of just social commentary, can you think of anybody right now more powerful? Anybody? Who's more powerful, Tucker or Candace? That's a tough one. Who? Who do you think? Who's more powerful, Candace or Tucker? Think about it. 126 is Tucker. You know my position is. You know my position is. Who's more powerful? Candace. Powerful. Not smarter. Don't call her Candy. Don't call her Candy. Candace or Miss Candace. Ms., as we say in the South. Candace is. Not Tucker. Not Tucker. Not that Tucker plays a fool too much. No, not really. Not really. No. Not really. No. Tucker loves to take you down the road. He loves to take you down the road where he's learning some things. And, you know, you got to be careful, Tucker. There's one time when he said, you know, there was a demon who pulled me out. I got claw marks, and the demon attacked me, and I was in bed, and the devil attacked me. And listen, I'm not going to tell somebody they weren't attacked by the devil, but a lot of people are saying, okay, all right, okay. Candace says, I'm not going to give you my thoughts about Argentina, Viktor Orban, little bit of this. No. Candace is like McDonald's. This is the menu. And I'm really good at this. Tucker talks about a lot of things. And because Tucker talks about so many things, there's a greater tendency for him to go into areas that maybe he doesn't know about, but the people are like, oh, okay. Because with Candace, it's always yes. With Tucker, it's like, yes. I mean, sometimes he'll have somebody on but the thing is, Tucker's trying to tell you, look, this is more of, to him, I think it's more of an intellectual exercise. We're going to have on somebody in the Eastern Rite Church. We're going to have somebody on who founds the pyramids. Here's somebody who wants to talk about the liberty. Here's a man who wants to talk about, it's like Joe Rogan kind of. Joe Rogan is very, very similar to Tucker. They're very, very expansive. Candace, stick to a subject, own it, and know it. Tucker's very good, very smart, but Candace, more powerful. Absolutely. If Tucker said, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go right now to Kentucky, and I want you to do this. I want you to vote for Thomas Massey or Joe Kent, and I want you to do this. I want you to do that. You do it right now. You do that for me. Okay. If Candace told you that, people say, when do we go? Can we leave now? Yeah, come on, kids. We're going. Grab your bug out bag. Why? We're going to, where are we going? Yeah, we're going to Nashville. Or wherever you said. Whatever. You think I'm kidding? You think I'm kidding? Absolutely. If she told you you're going to do something, you're okay. But if Tucker said, Tucker says a lot of things. You know, he just, no, not really. Just, no. Candace, yes. Because people love her. And what I was trying to tell you before is that women in particular love her. Her audience, mostly women. And you want women. They're the hardest nut to crack. The hardest nut to crack. However, if Candace walks into a set with other women, it's different. She does not, you hear that, you see what I mean? You love her. Same thing way you loved Princess Di. Same way, and I tell people all this time, and they kind of laugh. Dolly Parton. Love Dolly Parton. They love Dolly Parton. They love her. They love her. There are people who just, I cannot think. Can you think of anybody, even on the left? Was it maybe Marlo Thomas, Jane Fonda? Who did they love so, where they loved her? As opposed to, I admire her. Nah, that's not what I'm talking about. I mean somebody who loves her. Oh, the Tates, big one. That's a big mistake. But I told you about that. I told you. Pick your enemies carefully, but your friends even more carefully. That sounds like that Godfather thing, but it's really true. They're not good. No. Okay? Look at this. Somebody's very mad. Stop saying that it's not true with secure women. Stop saying it's not true with secure women. We ride with Candace in person or podcast. I don't know what that means. Stop saying that it's not true with secure women. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. You do me a favor. And you bring Candace in there. You say, Candace, let me ask you a question. In your life, who's giving you the most problem? Men or women? What do you think she's going? What do you think people are going to tell her? Who? And I'm not even talking about professional. Most of us who have been you deal with dicks no matter who they are. It's a different story. But ask her a very simple question. Let me ask you. Ladies, secure or not, Who is giving you the most problem, men or women? I'm asking you. You tell me. Tell me. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Men are kind of like you know they're predators to an extent, but they're kind of like, yeah. Said that women are too emotional. Look, we can go through this. We can go through this. I can give you reasons why I think that is. I think I can give you a lot of reasons. But what I'm telling you is that people love to, how do I say this? By the way, men as bosses, I've had most of my bosses have always been men, idiots. So, I don't know what that means. There's always a rule. There's always some kind of a thing. I have not had excuse me, unfortunately, well, not fortunately, but we've had problems. Women judges. Absolutely no difference. None, no difference. I mean, good, bad, nothing to do with it. Some of the greatest judges were women, vice versa, et cetera, et cetera. It's a different story. Look, I don't want to play this, and do me a favor. If you can't, there will always be the exception. You have a rule where you generalize things. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of women that you work with professionally, I think would have a hard time with Candace. I think a lot of men like her. And I think it's kind of a compliment. First of all, because she's no nonsense and she's tough as nails. And they actually, believe it or not, I think are coming across almost as though they are a peer competitor, as Mearsheimer would say. But women in the business? No. Now, when you talk to her and you're at home and you're watching her and you're listening away, she does a couple of things I love. One of them is she doesn't look you in the eye. She always looks over here. It's an interesting technique. I want to know why that is. I'm always interested in the stagecraft. You look at somebody, you're looking over here, and then every now and then she'll look at you. But she's looking, which gives me the impression you're almost like you're there, but you're sitting next to her and you're watching her talk to somebody else. It's a different take. Everybody's got their own style. Baron's got his. Baron makes you feel, I think he has the best. It's the best of what I always try to tell you. Make people feel like you're talking to them. He does it very well. Everybody's got their own. It's so interesting. Thecady is just, again, this is performance art. Have you seen her? She's just like, her research, where she holds that mic, she talks like that. I mean, it's great. I've never seen anything like it. You don't want her to do a subject of you. You don't want that. Fredo, I think, is wonderful. She's so careful not to say any words. It's like, it's okay. You can, Katya, I believe you don't. Sometimes there's so many words taken out. I'm not sure what they're saying. And you said, Ophelia. It's like, wait a minute, hold on. I'm not sure what that was. Believe me, I know people are very, very gun shy about saying, but I think it's terrific. And I love the way there's somebody who speaks a language. Her English is impeccable. She may have an accent, but her English is impeccable. Everybody's got a style. And there are some other, I'm not going to mention them. I'm not going to mention any names, but they try so hard and nothing lands. It's like, hey guys, it's like, no, you need more than just give me something. Give me maybe a compelling you or something. Just don't, just tell me. I know. And some people are suggesting that the statement of Charlie, where he appoints his wife, really was AI. It's like, for the love of God, we know this. What are you doing? I don't want to be mean, and I don't. Because listen, God bless anybody who tries to do this stuff. God bless. It's just fun. And it's just fun doing it. and there's people, remember, when you do this, there are people who are not going to understand what you're saying. They will never understand. Other people will hate you. I don't know what it is. I've been doing this for a long time, and some people will just, and you will also find people that you think, well, do not interest me in the least, are absolutely the greatest. They are the biggest names available. Oh, Brian says, saw a video of, Jared Kushner and Ivanka from Eric Ryan and Alyssa Mastromonica of a podcast. Oh, Hysterica. Yes. Doing episode of, that effing guy. That's what I saw too. Are these the ladies in the podcast you were referring to? Seen Albania protest? Or the Albania protest? Yes, they're the ones. They are great. Now, remember, you might disagree with them because they're lefties. But as far as they are absolutely, Maureen Callahan does that. Everybody will stop and go after Rosie. What is it about Rosie? Rosie's the only one who says, well, I had my facelift. What? I got a facelift. You got a facelift? When? Now. You did? You did? On your face? Yeah. Oh. What do you think? About what? About your facelift? They sure didn't cut that much. You know what the saddest one is? Ready for this? You know Chris Christie? Mayor of this poor guy. He had bariatric surgery. He had, the tummy tuck or whatever it was. Nothing happened. That was always the biggest joke. And you say, what happens? I don't know. I mean, he was, poor guy. And we don't wait. It's tough. He knows it. One time he was on Letterman and they made him eat forced donuts. He berated himself. Absolutely berated himself. It was horrid. But anyway, Sparky, there he is. You're trying to warn Candace about the Tates, but I'm sure she can handle herself. I know you were just trying to be a good grandpa. Oh, she can handle herself. I just would say is no good. But listen, people are entitled. Do whatever you want. That guy just does nothing for me. So profoundly full of shit. I mean, oozing. He's fetid. It's like a. Do you ever see those chocolate fountains? This is terrible imagery, but hey, that's good. That's him. Certain people. Oh, Patrick Bet-David, full of shit. Tim Pool, full of shit. Just apt. They say nothing. Glenn Beck, nice guy, says nothing. Nothing. Nobody says, wow, did you hear what he said? Nothing. An undisputed genius, where people say, is Theo Vaughn. I swear to you, we're going to decode him. We're going to say, play that back. Did you hear what he says? He is it's like the word is elliptical. I was reading Bob Dylan's word. There's a guy, Otis. There's a great, what is his name? Otis Bush or Otis? I listen to these when I'm just sometimes, I love all the great country music. Otis, oh, come on. What's his name? Otis Bush or Otis, Otis Gibbs. Excuse me. Otis Gibbs. Gibbs. Watch him. Listen to him. I love country music people of yore. And I love the old time country music. And he tells stories about George Jones and Merle Haggard and Lefty Frizzell. Lefty Frizzell was in jail. I heard Lefty Frizzell was in lockup in Roswell on the day of Area 51, the day in 1947. He was in a Roswell. Lefty Frizzell is the pretty much the inventor of honky tonk. He really was it. Anyway, Bakersfield or whatever. So they have these people tell these stories, and it is the most relaxing, the human voice. And I could hear stories about, oh, Dylan. But anyway, Dylan, when they were talking about this, Otis Gibbs talks about Dylan wrote a description of Willie Nelson. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. And I would have never come at it. His braids are like anchor rope trying to lasso eternity. And just, I mean, beautiful imagery. That's Theo Vaughn. He comes at things at angles I would have never thought. And he's almost like a savant. He's almost a savant. And his whole thing is he put his drug issues away, which is because he goes through a lot because he talks about it all the time. How much he drank, he must be thinking about it all the time because your brain is wired afterwards. Bobby Kennedy went through it. He was a heroin addict. This is something which is incredible, but he and Bobby Kennedy does nothing for me. Absolutely nothing. The best is Maureen Callahan and Jack Schlossberg, some of the funniest stuff ever. When it comes to going after someone, the best women will outdo the best men. When they do these bad attempts at roast, men, but a woman, surgical. Absolutely, positively. You can say what you want about her, but the Tina Fey's and that movie 30 Rock, that writing was brilliant. By the way, there's a brand new documentary on John Candy coming up. Please watch that. What a noble soul this guy was. He had something. Excuse me. I love people who have the ability to do something like he did. Spencer Tracy. Watch him act. Watch what he does. Watch how people can do things. Watch Glenn Campbell play the guitar. Watch Al Green sing in a way. That's one thing Obama, if I ever met him, we're talking about Al Green. We have that in common. Al Green, it's like the Doppler effect. It's like it's this. He is beyond phenomenal. Beyond phenomenal. And it's that one thing he's so great. But when it comes to surgically eviscerating people, smart aleck, nonsense, because if you are a woman and you are basically told you are not going to be able to fight your way out of these, you're not going to be able to get physical. I mean, some can, but most people don't. You are going to have to worry. You're going to have to use your rapier whip. And because women sometimes exceed men drastically in terms of the speed and celerity of their own developed speech, because girls just talk better and faster earlier than boys do, they're better adept. That's why when I hear this, hey guys, I think, no. You're a discredit to your gender. No. Dorothy Parker is just, I don't know if anybody, the round table, Dorothy Parker wasn't normal. I mean, her insults were, you think, I mean, what do we have? Don Rickles. Anyway, but when you hear people making, and by the way, there is nothing funnier sometimes when the subject matter is something that is something personal, sex, bodily functions, embarrassment. The subject matter is absolutely ripe for commentary. But you cannot put yourself in the position where you go directly and talk about the bodily humors or whatever it is, or the sex, and miss the context of it. Today, if you watch the people like Sean Gillis and others, to an extent, they're more into explaining the biomechanical, penis operational stuff versus going after something far more heady. Sparky says, was Yogi Berra elliptical? I wonder if Yogi Berra said as much You understand this? I don't know. I think we're going to find out. He didn't say probably as much as he said. He was very, very good. He was almost like the like Norm Crosby, sort of, the malaprops, spoonerisms. One day I want to read for you. I kept a list. Curtis Lewa, whom I've known for 30 plus years, used to take words and invert them. He is, of course, the leader of the Guardian Angels, which is he is the imaginary generalissimo of an imaginary group of urban commandos called the Guardian Angels. The average age deceased. Remember that joke about the Friars Club? It's so sad to drive by the Friars to see it closed. It's beyond tragic. But he would say things, and he would twist it in such a way you weren't sure what the real word was. Like, for example, if somebody has Alzheimer's. The Columbus had 4 boats: the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa, and the Maria. From the flamingos coming back to Capistrano, like a knight on a white shiny horse, between a hard rock and a hard spot. You weren't sure as a woman. I know that one. That's not it. One time I was walking by the newsroom. This is when ABC was in its glory days. Rush, Bob Grant, Ed Koch, Curtis. I mean, it was one. Lynn Samuels and others. Anyway, I walked by, and Curtis had been up for like 36 hours. He didn't sleep. He never slept. He'd sleep on the floor. I don't know where he lived. Anyway, he was shot like 5 or 6 times by the Gambinos trying to kill him. Actually shot him. And his intestines were all scar tissue and the Crohn's. And oh my God, this guy, it was so sad. He would be in agony. And whenever he went to that bathroom, nobody got near it for weeks. I don't know what happened. I don't know what he was putting out, but if they could bottle that, you could empty Times Square New Year's Eve in 30 seconds. Anyway, I walked by one day and I hear him on the speaker, and he says, "That's why I always take Bertolli olive oil and rub it on my foreskin to grow hair." So I walked in, which is what you don't do. I said, "Excuse me," and he could tell. He looked at me like, "Thank you, help me, I'm gone." I said, "Did I hear you right? You're going to roll it." He meant to say he rubbed it on his forehead to grow hair. Now, why you want to grow hair on your forehead, I don't know. But anyway, he was a great. I've got a list. When I tell you 10 pages, single space, I'll go through the list. You can't believe it. They're brilliant. Brilliant. Well, that's kind of Yogi Berra, so to speak. By the way, you know what they say when you find a fork in the road, take it? If you know where he lives in Upper Montclair, house, I drive by it all the time. And you get to this one part, and it veers. You can go this way or this way, and you take the left, and you go right by his house. Very nondescript home, but that was indeed the fork in the road. Our good friend Risa McCartney says, Candace posted on X that she has the entire 3-hour Aspen video and had it for months. TPUSA got baited into releasing a misleading edited video. Oh, we will, my friend. Tomorrow it will be wonderful. Do you think people other than us are going to understand what that means? Do you think that people other than those who watch this carefully are going to really understand it? I hope they do. I think it's our duty to perhaps maybe let people know. But it's going to be wonderful. And you know, TPUSA is going to be dead. They got to play taps. It's over. It's through. It's finished. But this is a good one. Now, her team, you know, she has a great research team, but she also has volunteers and whistleblowers. She must. I don't know if this is a fact, but she must have people who really like her and admire her and are willing to come forward with, let me tell you what's going on here, especially some of those poor people who were let go from TPUSA. It's going to be a barn burner. Understand this? Hey, guys, it's for needy people who thrive on being recognized by someone they think is important or important. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. Is that her nickname? Hey guys. It's like five eyes. Hey guys. It was well played. Candace was just terrific. Come on, come on, come on, go for it. Come on. There we go. Come on. Now, and I hope she stretches it out. Oh, I stretch it. I hope she picks it up. Hope she calls Mikey, whoever the hell it is, whoever these people are, and say, what do you say about this? What do you say about this? Would you like to have a contest? Let's bet whose version is correct or not. And can you authenticate it just like you do in court? Is this a true and accurate depiction? Yes. Run it through the AI machine. This is it. This is real. What do you say about this? And you knew it. And you knew it. Well, Erika, what do you have to say? Humana. She's not going to know what the hell's going on. She's not going to know anything. She's going to be talking about God and the dust and whatever it is. So that's going to be unbelievable. Did I miss the bug out bag commercial? Yes. Yes, you did. My friends, I love you. I really was thinking tonight, I'm not in the I got a lesson, but I'm so glad I was here. You brought me out of it. You brought me out of it. I'm telling you right now, you brought me out of it. You are still terrific. By the way, I thank you so much for following Mrs. L. You do not believe, you cannot understand, you cannot grasp how hard she works. She's talking to parents and people are trying to let people know about the COSA Act. And whoever it is, whatever this particular algorithm keeps throwing her, she's, loses followers. I'm thinking, why? She's the most polite. There's nothing at all obstreperous about her in the least. So please follow her at Lynn's Warriors. Please, it means so much to her. And it stands by the greatest idea in the world is protecting children. In any event, I thank you. You have been terrific. You are an emollient for my soul. You are unctuous. You are not uxorious. No. You are unctuous. You're like a liniment. Here's Sparky right now. A murderer's row of a radio lineup. Oh, indeed. Indeed. Absolutely. Those were days when it was something else. And by the way, Mr. Sparky, you must be glad because have you been watching what's been going on lately? President Trump has got to do the right thing and undo this. Undo this. America does not belong in war, especially this. Nobody understands it. And it's going to hurt the Republicans big time. And it's stupid. And I'm always the one who says, what would Jesus think? What would Jesus do? What would Jesus? They kind of think I'm dead serious. What would Jesus say? Jesus would say, no. Did you not hear anything? Why are you going over there? Well, see, Jesus, because they might stop it. You can't fool him. He knows what's going on. In any event, my friend, I loves you. I love you, baby. Ta-ta for now, TTFN. Thank you, guys. Hey, guys. Thank you so much. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. Please remember something, which is very, very important, very, very critical. There's something called evil. There's something that we must stay away from.
Seems to me that nothing will ever be enough for the evil in this world.
Right. And that hat. Remember that from the movie, from that show called SWAT? Steve Forrest, whatever. They would stop, get out of their uniform, put on the black hat, and then get back into the black truck, change back into their mufti, but it was a uniform, and it was terrific. And they did this. Remember the Rookies? Remember the show, The Rookies? Like 20 years, they were rookies. It's the damnedest thing. It's like Bad News Bears. They're still big. Great movie. Remember that with Walter Matthau? Didn't you love that? And what's his name? The one from Paper Moon. You know what I'm talking about. I'm so tired. Ryan, Tatum O'Neal. All right, my friends. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so very much. You were terrific. Tomorrow, everybody, all eyes on deck. Watch Miss Candace as she shows back up and get ready for the fallout. And I'm going to be there. And we'll follow up immediately thereafter to go through our particular review of it, like most of us do, picking up the scraps and the detritus, the flotsam and jetsam of humanity as we pick through the orts and the shreds of evidence of what once was. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. Thank you so much. Please don't ever change. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget the monkey's dead. Show's over. See ya. Ta-ta.